First of all, explain this loan that SoftBank is getting from the same banks that's doing the IPO for the wireless business.
Right, so we've reported that they've received commitments of a $9 billion loan, and this will be for its vision fund, which, as we know, just needs more and more capital to fuel these enormous bets in technology that they're making. And these are coming from the same banks that are underwriting the IPO of its wireless unit. And it's not entirely unusual for companies to pick banks that have worked with them on past deals for IPOs. And we reported that Masayoshi Son was essentially telling these banks, well, to sweeten the deal and to be part of these enormous IPO, which could be $27 billion, we'd also like for you to loan to another part of the SoftBank empire. But what is unusual in this case is that the loan wouldn't be given to the same part of the business that these banks would be underwriting. It would be given to a different unit entirely, which would be the Vision Fund. Now, this IPO is a big deal for SoftBank. It means that Masa is going to be able to really separate this deal-making aspect of the business, the Vision Fund, with the operational telecoms unit.
So, Elizabeth, what do you make of the unusual nature of this loan in the context of what's happening with Saudi Arabia and the fact that, the Saudi government continues to deny these allegations? It's connected to the murder of this journalist at the same time that, SoftBank's Vision Fund has taken a lot of money from the Saudi government.
Yeah, well, we've already seen the effect on SoftBank shares over the last couple of days of that situation. But I think this has been going on, behind the scenes for a long time. As Selina said, this is something that Masa Son's been talking to the banks about for a while. We reported last week that they'd sort of chosen those banks who were going to work on the deal, that they'd been talking to them for a while. So this is kind of part of that process. I think it's quite separate. It'll be interesting to see, how that plays out for the next couple of months. But for the moment, the focus is on the IPO.
Selina, have we gotten any word from SoftBank about their response to this, international scandal and how it could affect them?
I've been asking, and right now there is no on-the-record comment, but I think what we can glean is that they're likely still in this wait-and-see mode. They want to see the full results of this case, although it's looking increasingly bleak and dark, before they release any substantial statement. Now, it's possible that they'll want them to cancel the event entirely, this Davos in the desert. They may want them to postpone the event. We've also been speaking to many of the portfolio companies. We know that the Uber CEO has already pulled out. There are other startups that are considering removing themselves from this conference as well. But it's very hard from the perspective of these startups because they want to attend this event to be able to reach that enormous Middle Eastern market. But at the same time, they don't want to be associated with a regime that's come under so much international pressure for such a horrible thing.